everybody, welcome to the Homestead. So today I thought I'd just jump into a video. Many of you have noticed that I have not been on YouTube for a week, and that's because I have been on a YouTube forced vacation. They do that from time to time when they want to give you a break. They're like, you know what? You've been saying some fantastic things on your channel, and we want to give you a vacation. So that's what happened to me. I was standing in the corner like a good little boy doing my time and penance. All that to say, it's over now. I did put a video over on Rumble. I have more things I want to talk about because of the thing that got me in trouble this time. And so we'll talk about that over at Rumble. Can't talk about that stuff here. But here's the deal, folks. If one day I just happen to disappear, you know where to find me. My website, anamericanhomestead.com. I don't update it regularly. Okay, it's there. It's a full-blown website. It's got lots of content, articles, videos on there. But I don't keep it completely up to date because I just have so many other things that I'm doing. However, if one day I'm gone, I will be updating that website on a pretty regular basis because, the time I spent here will be now spent there. But that way, if I ever do disappear, that's where you'll find me, at AmericanHomestead.com. So here's the deal. The markets are in turmoil. They're going up, they're going down. And a couple of months ago, I made a video talking about the markets, and I think I made it on Patreon saying, hey, listen, what is coming next? And I'm getting really good at predicting the future. And it's not because I'm a prophet, even though people are like, Zach, you must be a prophet. You said it was going to do this, and it did. It's just about reading history books. Over and over and over again, ad nauseum, empires have risen and fallen, economies have collapsed when they try to promote their fiat currencies, and fiat currencies never, ever win. There's over 400 times listed historically where fiat currencies have failed. This will also fail, and it will fail in a tremendous manner because it is a world reserve currency this time. So it doesn't take a lot of skill to predict the future here if you can read a history book. And so a couple months ago, I made a video and I predicted what would happen next. It would be price controls. Well, the United Nations just this last week has said, hey, stop raising interest rates. You're killing everybody. You're making all of these currencies fail because when your currency rises, all these other currencies fail, and they're experiencing massive hyperinflation or heading that way very quickly. And we even had the Bank of England pivot, as they say, and now start buying bonds, which is basically printing dollars or printing pounds in their case, and they're going right back into hyperinflation. So it's hyperinflation is the inevitable result. Okay. Not only did the United Nations say, hey, stop raising interest rates, they said, if you're worried about rising prices, well, you can do it. Do you know what I'm going to say? Go ahead and say it yourself. Price controls. And I said this a couple months ago. I said what they will do next is price controls. And at that point, there was nobody talking about price controls in the media. Now everyone's talking about it because that's in the playbook. It's historically in the playbook. Now, let's just say you're a company that produces widgets. You produce a really nice, fine widget. And your widget costs this much money to make. It costs this much money in labor. It costs this much money in parts. It costs this much money in machinery upkeep and factory and overhead. It's your widget, whatever it is, costs this much to make. But the government comes in and says, you can only charge now this for that widget. And with inflation and other costs going up, your widget, you can't make it anymore for that cost. You won't make any money. In fact, you'll be losing money. And so what do you as a company begin doing? You stop making widgets. Happens every time. All you got to do is read a history book. And yes, this is what we're seeing. The United Nations says, hey, if you're having a hard time keeping prices under control, start price controls. And what does that lead to? No more widgets. Lack of everything. Guys, the result is hyperinflation either way you look at it. If they continue to raise interest rates, that will continue to beef up the dollar, and it'll cause all kinds of problems and layoffs, and companies will go out of business, and people will be home with nothing to do, and they'll be like, government, where's my stimmy checks? Give me that stimmies. Because they're used to it now. They're used to government handouts. It's like a crack addict who needs his fix. And so give me my stimmies, and the result will be hyperinflation. If the Fed pivots and says, okay, we won't stop raising interest rates, or we will stop raising interest rates, and we'll go back to QE, then you have hyperinflation anyway. Either way, the result is hyperinflation. So there is no way out of this except hyperinflation. And this is what I've been saying from the very beginning. Now, there's really one way you could avoid hyperinflation. Okay, 3 things would really have to happen. If you really wanted to avoid hyperinflation, 3 things would have to happen. Okay, and that would be to, number 1, stop printing money. Not going to happen. Congress would have to stop spending money. Never going to happen, because they love getting elected by all the promises they make to all the people, all the sheeple. And they say, hey, you can have this, 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 and this, and this. Just get me elected and get me back on that gravy train. Because that's how it happens. The congressmen or congresswomen get elected and they become out rich, and yeah, it's a gravy train. And so they promise the public, you and me, all these free things. And so that's never going to stop happening. That costs money. So they would have to stop the Fed would have to stop printing money. The Congress would have to start spending money, and the PPT, the plunge protection team, would have to go on vacation, meaning the stock market would collapse and all these workers would be out of work. And if that happened, you would stop hyperinflation. If that happened, if the Congress stopped printing money, if the Fed stopped printing money, the Congress stopped spending money, and they let the stock market crash, which is what it should be doing, then we wouldn't have hyperinflation. We would have a 1930s depression type collapse instead of an inflation type collapse. You're either going to have a deflationary collapse or an inflationary collapse. One of the two is going to happen. Right now, we're heading right down that train track for inflation, because Congress won't stop spending and the Fed won't stop printing, and the plunge protection team goes into work every single day. And the plunge protection team is real, folks. People are like, Zach, don't you think the stock market's going to crash? I don't think so, because the plunge protection team, which is a real deal, it's not a conspiracy, they still go to work every day. And the market may go down 1,000 points one day, but it's up 300 points the next day. 700 points the next day. It goes like this. And it may go a slow decline, but that plunge protection team is spending federal dollars that they've freshly printed, and they're putting that in the stock market to raise up all those stocks again so nothing actually collapses. Which is why we are heading towards an inflationary collapse.
I guarantee.
All that to say, I was right yet again. Price controls are coming. UN says, what do we do? Well, if you guys have problems with prices, do price controls. I was right yet again. Again, it doesn't take a genius, doesn't take a prophet. Just read the history book. And I have said oftentimes, for you people who are still having your kids in public school, you ought to be brought up on charges of child abuse. If you're putting your kids in the public school system, it doesn't matter what public school system you have. I know it's hard to do homeschool. But if you do homeschool, if you do public school, even if you do public school, the most important subject for your children is history. Math, science, language arts, all important. But the most important subject for your children, no matter what school you're in, has always been history. History. Teach your children history. I don't care if it's through movies, if it's through books, or if it's through audio, whatever. Doesn't matter. Stop letting them watch all these movies or video games that have no bearing on anything whatsoever. They're not learning anything. All they're doing is filling their heads with dopamine. Instead, show them something historical. Show them a movie that's historical in nature, or read a book to them that's historical in nature, or history is your most important subject for your kids. There's a saying, I forgot who said it. I should read history. The reason history repeats itself is because no one reads history. It's true. I'll try to put the quote up there of whoever said that up on the screen. Anyway, that's enough for me today. I saw that this week, and I've been in YouTube jail, and I just needed to get that out. So, listen, violates community standards. If you're like me and you violate community standards and you are a repeat offender like me, this is the shirt for you. You can find it, links in the description below, over at teespring.com. Other shirts are stupid should hurt shirt. Gosh darn it, if we had more hurt in this world, there'd be a lot less stupid. That shirt also over at teespring.com. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time on American Homestead. Bye! Hey guys, I'm happy to introduce an American Homestead sponsor, Zervita Zeal. Now, first off, I only accept sponsors from products that I use and believe in. My family uses Zeal mainly because we want to ensure a healthy immune system. You see, it's made up of only whole food concentrates and includes no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. The included sweetener is all natural from fruit and the stevia leaf. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, and it's kosher. In 2018, my youngest son was involved in a bike accident that resulted in the surgical removal of his spleen, and that's an important part of his immune system. And because we live on a farm, you can guess that having a healthy immune system for our family is very important. Some of the included ingredients are beetroot, chicory root, turmeric, moringa, blueberries, cranberry, goji berry, milk thistle, ginseng, alfalfa, broccoli, and so much more. It's these natural ingredients that can easily be made into a powerful and tasty drink that my family can make and feel good about. So sign up and give it a try today. Every purchase you make goes to help the homestead so that we can continue to make great homesteading videos for you. Link is in the description below. Go ahead, give it a try. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.